What is going on, you guys? It is Mr. Game of Squatch here with
the King of Games 98.
Yep, and welcome to the Squatch Den. We are going to be doing a little bit of open cart surgery. Don't trademark me on that, because who's that other YouTuber that does that?
John Riggs.
John Riggs. So
I don't think he's really going to mind, though. He's a very cool, laid-back guy, and you know what? He actually does his whole series of it for fun. And, like, sometimes he keeps the game, sometimes he doesn't. He goes to conventions and gives them away.
Very nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
So, alright. We're going to try and do this little trick that I had seen on, I believe it was either Retro Future Community or Game Boy Collectors on Facebook. The guy had made a TikTok about it, and I want to try and recreate it and make a video of it for you guys as well, because, you know, it's content, and also it would be helpful to spread the word. So
I think most importantly, this was just be a cool how-to video.
Exactly, it's a very nice how-to video as well. So I can't claim this as my original idea. I'm not. I literally can't. It's not my idea. But hopefully, if this helps out somebody else as well, then I feel like that's an accomplishment.
Exactly, and most importantly, I would like tag the guy when whoever the guy was who you saw do the video, and you know, when you put it on Facebook, I would tag the guy in it.
Yeah, I'll try and tag him when I do this. All right. So, pretty much what we're talking about is, as you can see, there is a save battery in Pokemon Crystal, and most Game Boy games, well, all Pokemon games, I believe, except for Leaf Green and Fire Red, they don't have save batteries in them, but most Pokemon games have save batteries in them, at least the old ones, like Gold, Crystal, Red, Blue, Yellow, even Ruby and Emerald, I believe.
Yes, but advanced ones are slightly different.
A little bit. So, either way, but that's not why we're here. These are the old Game Boy and Game Boy Color games that you can do this trick with. Pretty much, take for example that this is a 20-year-old save battery. It's not, obviously, it's a brand new save battery, but imagine this is a 20-year-old save battery, and you've gotten Suicune, you've beaten the Elite Four, and you're the world champion, and you've had your favorite Pokemon since you were a kid still on this little cartridge here, and you don't want to lose those Pokemon. As much as it's, you know, it's just a game, just restart it, who gives a shit. Some people really feel a lot of sentimental, you know, value for their Pokemon, or even just old games in general. You know, the high score on their game when they played with their dad, or, you know, their mom passed away and it was the last game she owned and played, and her high scores on there. You don't lose that.
Yeah, like,
you know,
very fond,
I know there's very grim examples, but
still, yeah. And then, you know, it's like, hey man, you know, I just got Entei or the freaking Unknown. Like,
well, Unknown's not that hard to get.
Oh.
He doesn't really know Pokemon, but you know what? He a little confused, but he got the spirit.
Close enough.
He got the spirit. At least Entei, yes, is a legendary, but you can catch him in Gold and Silver, not Crystal.
What the hell was the electric one? I forget.
Raikou.
Yeah, that.
Okay. Anyway, so for the sake of it, this is a 20-year-old save battery, and I have a lot of data on here. I really don't, but for the sake of this video, imagine that I do. So, what we're going to try and demonstrate here today is that, obviously, yes, save battery is very old, still works, but you don't want to lose the data on here. And I'm demonstrating to you that this works.
Especially if it can, you know, be saved. That's the most important part.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, okay, let's be honest here, guys. If you don't have to restart a game, why should you?
Exactly, especially if you put tons of hours into it and shit. So, as you can see, starts up, battery works, and everything. So, you're going to want to, obviously, take the thing out, and using a game bit screwdriver, which, if you don't know, pretty much any Game Boy cartridge or Game Boy Color cartridge uses a game bit screw, just like any kind of Super Famicom, Super Nintendo, you know, cartridges use these weird screw bits, because it's not really a flathead. It's not a Phillips either.
It's not a hex, not a Torx, not a Tri-Wing.
Let me. Hopefully, it'll focus on here. Yeah, you can see how it's kind of like a little mushroom cap gear looking thing. That's all that, you know, this little end fits onto to be able to screw that out and take it out. So try and use that. If you don't, I'm going to link in the description. There's like this 17-piece toolkit that I bought on Amazon for roughly like $18, $20.
That's not bad at all.
Don't quote me on the price. It'll be there when you go and hit the link in the description.
There you go.
It's not a sponsor, not at all, because obviously I'm only, got freaking 9 or 10, 12, whatever subscribers. But if you want to try and get into fixing your own things, I definitely recommend getting it because it's got tri-wings, Phillips heads, game bit screws, torque screws, pry tools, and even like different, multiple different pry tools and wipes things. So we're going to now, after taking the screw out, we're going to take the faceplate off, and then now we're going to reinsert this in here so that it's in there and ready to go. Obviously it's a little bit loose there because this thing down here is a little bit weird. If you really wanted to, actually, maybe would it even still work without it being in the cartridge? I don't think we should. No, it won't, because doesn't have the pressure on the back of it. Okay. It's a little weird. It doesn't fully sit in here, but we're gonna try and be as careful as possible anyway. So now that that's off, show you that still reads the game. Yep, still works. Save battery's still there. But we're going to leave the game on though, so that when this does take the battery out, this is kind of my theory, is that the save chip still runs off the power of the Game Boy, because one, it's on, and also even if you had it off, I believe it still would take it anyway, but only for like a very limited amount of time. But I think the safer way would just be leaving the game on as is right now, and then just taking this, desolder the points on here. Let's try and get a little closer up here of that. I have my solder iron ready, and we're going to desolder this from the board. Okay. Once that's cooled, now we can move on to this next one here. Probably just be easier. You got to be very careful with this soldering iron because you can easily burn yourself. Okay, now as you can see, it's removed and the game is still on. And so now, acting as if we're putting in a brand spanking new battery, we are going to replace it in here. Now this is going to be the fun part because I'm kind of giving a reach around to the tripod here. I usually find it easier using needle nose pliers to hold these because my hands are one shaky as shit, and also it's just easier to hold it in place.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, not a bad idea, because like I said, once it gets in there and it hardens, then it's kind of hard to move this. So we're going to try and keep that right in place right there. To resolder that in there. Perfect. And now we move to the other side here. And honestly, any tricks or any little word of advice for anybody that's afraid of doing soldering work, honestly, transferring save batteries is a very good start into soldering things. I mean, it's very good practice for a beginner.
As far as soldering goes in, video games or gaming in general, or just anything electronical related that requires soldering, I would say this is probably at a beginner's level.
Definitely. Because all you're doing is just the two solder points that all you kind of do is just, you're touching the contact that's underneath of that solder, reheating the liquid metal, and then just kind of letting it take it, and that's it. All you're doing is reheating the metal, and then it liquidizes and cools like that. That was kind of the hurdle for me to try and get over, like, how does it work and stuff like that. and that's what kind of kept me from doing a lot of soldering work and such. But it's a very good start. Now, as you can see, the game still works here. We're gonna hit save. Okay, and by some stroke of a miracle, we are going to take out the game, because that then kind of proves that if the battery is actually running and working with the cartridge. And we're going to just we're just going to put the front back on just for peace of mind. And now put it back in. And now the moment of truth. Here we go. The moment of truth, my ladies and gentlemen. And everything in between. It's still there. And it still works.
Nice.
There we go. That completes our open cart surgery. And that is also now a new tip for you guys, whoever want to save your old data without possibly ruining it. Because I can tell you this, if you took that cartridge out and took the battery out, if it still worked and there was data on there, there's no more data. That's it. You took the power supply, it wiped that memory clean, and you would be out possibly years worth of progress or whatever, however long you spent on those games and such. And so with that, that's going to conclude this video, and I hope you guys found this very helpful. I will link the gentleman that posted that video when I post this on Facebook, if they let me post it in the group without it being self-promotion.
Yes, I would definitely check that before just doing so.
If not,
yeah.
Either way, still, I have to give a shout out to him. He's a great guy, but for privacy reasons, I'm not going to. You never know anymore.
Yeah, no.
So, and like I said, check the link in the description for the toolkit. And if you even really like this soldering iron that I used, I will link that in the description as well. I think I paid about $25, $30 as well. And if you really need some, if you ever get solder, always use rosin core solder. Mm-hmm. I believe your dad told me that when I was looking for solder. That's what you want to use, because it's a lot easier to handle, and yeah. So I'll link all three of those in the description to use. And I hope you guys found this enjoyable. And if you haven't already, check out some of my other videos, and check out the King Games 98's channel as well.
I really appreciate that.
Alright, and I hope you guys stay safe, stay happy, catch them all, and we'll see you again in the Squatch Den.